I'm Dr. Peggy Symingson, and I wanted to share a little bit about some information I've been reading about real-time learning, also known as synchronous learning. I'm reading this book called Learning in Real Time, Synchronous Teaching and Learning Online by Jonathan Finkelstein, and it's Jossie Bass, 2006. One of the goals of real-time learning is to communicate with students that are in online classes, to humanize and personalize the learning, and also to make it more interactive and active. All good objectives of learning in general. And just to distinguish, synchronous learning would include things like video conferencing, instant messaging, any kind of just-in-time learning where students can log on and ask for assistance as they need it. So there's a whole continuum of learning, according to Finkelstein, with synchronous learning. Asynchronous learning is the more type of learning where you log on and do discussion boards where you can log on anytime and it's not happening in, quote, real time. So that's the main difference. I'm just starting to learn about synchronous learning, and I think it's really going to be promising to the present and future of online learning. And it's not particularly anything new. However, there are new technology tools and better technology tools we can use to help with synchronous learning. A couple of key points from this book are that it can have the potential to help build community in our online classes. Also, our pure lecture on-campus classes don't have to directly translate into what we choose to do with synchronous learning. So we can be creative, we can be much more interactive, we can do different things. A couple of points he makes in this book about starting to do synchronous learning is we need to foster interactivity in our synchronous learning environments. So we can do things like have chat while we are lecturing. We can use whiteboard spaces effectively and have students participate in those interactions. He talks about kind of the unscripted participations that happen in online learning, and I think that's really exciting, so that we don't just stick to a scripted lecture, that we're actually listening to our students, for instance in video conferencing, and responding to what they're saying, and then letting the lesson unfold as we are responding to what students are saying and telling us and what they want to know about. He also talks about the idea of using nonverbal body language, so like using emoticons to show that you're listening, to keep the momentum going, and that kind of thing. So I'm going to try to do more of that, is be more interactive and use this nonverbal body language in my online interactions. Some more things he talks about are some sort of best practices in online learning, and truly it's a paradigm shift. For instance, there are he talks about the phrases that online teachers can use as a ringmaster in, getting everybody onto the same page, so to speak. Like to say things like, let's all turn our attention to the chat area. So in effect, I think there's a lot to be learned about online that's much different than teaching on campus or online in asynchronous environments. So I recommend this book to get a footing about new knowledge in this area.